Shanghai Pudong ground, Delta 280 Heavy, ready for push.
Shanghai Pudong ground, Air Juneyao 1669, ready for pushback with information Charlie, requesting runway 17 left.
Air Juneyao 16.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Air Juneyao 1669.
Delta 280 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Delta 280 Heavy. Shanghai Pudong ground, Qantas 80, ready to taxi. Qantas 80, taxi to runway 17 left, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 17 left, Qantas 80.
Shanghai Pudong ground, Air Juneyao 1669, ready to taxi to runway 17 left with information Charlie.
Air Juneyao 1669,
Taxiing to runway 17 left, Air Juneyao 1669.
Shanghai Pudong ground, Delta 280 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 17 left with information Charlie. Delta 280 Heavy, taxi to runway 17 left, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 17 left, Delta 280 Heavy. Shanghai Pudong ground, Alpha 6 Sierra Alpha Foxtrot, ready for pushback with information Charlie. Alpha 6 Sierra Alpha Foxtrot, pushback approved, tail to the north. Shanghai Pudong ground, Delta 370 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Charlie. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Alpha 6 Sierra Alpha Foxtrot. Delta 280 Heavy, give way to aircraft on your left. Give way to aircraft, Delta 280. Shanghai Pudong ground, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Shanghai Pudong Tower, Air Juneyao 1669, ready for departure at runway 17 left, departing east.
Air Juneyao 1.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 17 left, Air Juneyao 1669.
Air Juneyao 166.
Frequency change approved Air Juneyao 1669, good day.
Shanghai Pudong Tower, Qantas 80. Maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
Descend and maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left. New Zealand 7 right kilo.
Qantas 1 Super. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Frequency change approved. Qantas 1 Super. Good day. Qantas 4 Heavy is 18 nautical miles west of Mittagong at 15,200 feet, requesting ILS approach any runway at Sydney Kingsford.
Qantas 643 Heavy, request frequency change. United 237 Uniform Alpha is 18 nautical miles southwest of Dhaka at 16,400 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Qantas 4 Heavy, expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Qantas 643 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Roger, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Frequency change approved Qantas 643 Heavy, good day. United 237 Uniform Alpha, continuous filed, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, United 237 Uniform Alpha. New Zealand 7 Mike Kilo, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, New Zealand 7 Mike Kilo.
Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super, say approach request. LAN Ecuador 2004 Super, request frequency change. Japan Air 52 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Japan Air 52 Heavy, good day. Sydney Director West, Qantas 824 Alpha Delta, with you at 2600. LAN Ecuador 2004 Super, stay on my frequency. Qantas 824 Alpha Delta, radar contact. Thank you, LAN Ecuador 2004 Super. Sydney Director West, Delta 7796, with you at 1500. Delta 7796, radar contact.
Sydney Director West, Qantas 86, with you at 400.
Starwalker 8474 Heavy, descend and maintain 6000. Maintain 6000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Qantas 86, radar contact. Descend and maintain 6000. Maintain 6000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right. Starwalker 8474 Heavy.
Qatari 908 is 22 nautical miles west of the Oaks at 12,400 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
DHL 11 Golf India, descend and maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
Descend and maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left. DHL 11 Golf India.
Qantas 555, do not exceed 190 knots. Qatari 908, continuous file, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Qantas 4 Heavy, turn left heading 040, descend and maintain 6000.
Roger, Qatari 908.
Turn left heading 040, descend and maintain 6000, Qantas 4 Heavy. Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super, continuous file, expect the GPS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Starwalker 8474 Heavy, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. Velocity 110 Sierra Quebec, radar contact. I'm sorry, Starwalker 8474 Heavy. Air Canada 34 Heavy, request frequency change. DHL 11 Golf India, continuous file, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Air Canada 34 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Roger, DHL 11 Golf India.
Qantas 86, requesting climb to flight level 340.
DHL 11 Golf India, maintain 3000, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Frequency change approved Air Canada 34 Heavy, good day. DHL 11 Golf India, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, DHL 11 Golf India.
Qantas 555, descend and maintain 3000, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
Sydney Director West, land Chile 810 Heavy, with you at 5400.
Descend and maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left, Qantas 555.
Descend and maintain 5000. Maintain 5000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right, Echo Charlie Air 1793. Executing missed approach, Starwalker 8474 Heavy. Land Ecuador 2004 Super, request frequency change. Starwalker 8474 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Starwalker 8474 Heavy.
Amiri 477 is 23 nautical miles west of Mittagong at 22,500 feet, requesting GPS approach any runway at Sydney Kingsford.
Thai 23 is 22 nautical miles north of Katoomba Airfield at 14,100 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Thai 23, continuous file, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, Thai 23. Amiri 477, expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Amiri 477.
Frequency change approved LAN Ecuador 2004 Super, good day. Amiri 477, turn left heading 0.
Sydney Director West, Qantas 418, with you at 5,000.
Qantas 418, radar contact.
Descend and maintain 4,000, maintain 4,000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
Echo Charlie Air 1793, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Echo Charlie Air 1793. Starwalker 8474 Heavy, turn right heading 280, descend and maintain 3000. Qantas 824 Alpha Delta, frequency change approved, good day. Turn right heading 280, descend and maintain 3000, Starwalker 8474 Heavy. Qantas 418, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 418. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Qantas 418.
Qantas 418, 1280.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
New Zealand 104 Heavy, contact Sydney Director West on 126.1.
Contacting Sydney Director West on 126.1, New Zealand 104 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Qantas 436 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 16 left, departing east.
Qantas 436 Heavy, hold short of runway 16 right.
Holding short runway 16 right, Qantas 436 Heavy.
DHL 11 Golf India, when able turn right, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, DHL 11 Golf India.
Qantas 436 Heavy, line up and wait runway 16 right.
Line up and wait runway 16 right, Qantas 436 Heavy.
1000.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, United 237 Uniform Alpha, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford Tower, land Chile 810 heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right.
Echo Charlie Air 1793, when able turn right, contact ground on the taxiway. Land Chile 810 heavy, 1250 at 8, number 1, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Wilco, Echo Charlie Air 1793. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 right, land Chile 810 heavy.
United 237 Uniform Alpha, 1230 at 10, number 2, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Qantas 436 heavy, 1220 at 11, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 16 right, United 237 Uniform Alpha. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Qantas 436 heavy.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Qantas 995, line up and wait runway 16 left.
Line up and wait runway 16 left, Qantas 995. Line up and wait runway 16 left, Qantas 995.
Executing missed approach, Qantas 418.
Qantas 418, go around, fly runway heading runway 16 left.
Going around, fly runway heading runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
Qantas 418, contact Sydney Director West.
Contacting Sydney Director West on 126.1, Qantas 418.
Qantas 4...
Executing missed approach, Qantas 418.
Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super, cleared GPS approach runway 16 right. Frequency change approved New Zealand 104 heavy, good day.
Maintain current altitude until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right, Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super.
Starwalker 8474 heavy, turn right heading 070. Turn right heading 070, Starwalker 8474 heavy. Qantas 4 heavy, do not exceed 190 knots.
Do not exceed 190 knots, Qantas 4 heavy.
Qantas 418, turn left heading.
Turn left heading 020, maintain 4000, Qantas 418.
Qantas 436 heavy, maintain 5000. Sydney Director West, Qantas 80, with you at 16,200. Qatari 908, turn right heading 130, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Qantas 80 is 18 nautical miles southwest of Dhaka at 16,000 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Turn right heading 130, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right, Qatari 908. Starwalker 8474 heavy, turn right heading 130, climb and maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Turn right heading 130. Climb and maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right. Starwalker 8474 heavy. Qantas 80. Continue as filed. Expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, Qantas 80. Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Alpha 7 Hotel X-Ray Alpha Super.
Maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final, Qatari 908. Roger, Qantas 995. Qantas 4 Heavy, turn right heading 070.
Turn right heading 070, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Taipei 3, descend and maintain 4000. Taipei 3, turn right heading 190. Executing missed approach, United 237 Uniform Alpha.
Amiri 477 is 4 nautical miles northwest of Bankstown at 5,000 feet, requesting GPS approach any runway at Sydney Kingsford.
Amiri 477, expect vectors for the GPS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Amiri 477.
Turn right heading 190, Taipei 3. Starwalker 8474 Heavy, turn right heading 190, descend and maintain 2000, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Qantas 792 Subaru is 15 nautical miles west of Mittagong at 20,100 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Turn right heading 190, Qantas 418, turn left heading 330.
Turn left heading 330, Qantas 418.
Sydney Director West, China Southern 6 Lima, with you at 20,900. Qantas 792 Subaru, continue as filed, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, Qantas 792 Subaru. China Southern 6 Lima, radar contact, say approach request. China Southern 6 Lima is 20 nautical miles west of Cessnock at 19,200 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Qantas 4 Heavy, turn right heading 190, maintain 4000, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach.
Turn right heading 190, maintain 4000, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Air Juneyao 370 Heavy, climb and maintain 5000, maintain 5000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 left approach. Air China 309 Heavy is 17 nautical miles southwest of Dhaka at 24,200 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Climb and maintain 5000 until established on the localizer, near ILS runway 16 west, Air Juneyao 370 Heavy.
China Southern 6 Lima, continue as filed, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, China Southern 6 Lima. Air China 309 Heavy, continue as filed, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Roger, Air China 309 Heavy. Taipei 3, turn left heading 130, descend and maintain 3000, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach.
Stand by, Amiri 477.
Amiri 477, turn left heading 260. Turn left heading 130, descend and maintain 3000, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right, Taipei 3.
Turn left heading 260, Amiri 477.
Air Juneyao 370 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Air Juneyao 370 Heavy.
Qantas 4 Heavy, turn left heading 130, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right approach.
Turn left heading 130, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 right, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Thai 23, execute missed approach, turn right heading 240, climb and maintain 4000. United 237 Uniform Alpha, turn right heading 340.
Amiri 477 is 13 nautical miles north of Bankstown at 5,000 feet, requesting radar vectors to Sydney.
Qantas 418, turn left heading
Turn left heading 240, descend and maintain 3000, Qantas 418.
Turn right heading 340, United 237 Uniform Alpha. Amiri 477, expect vectors for runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Amiri 477.
Qantas 4 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Sydney Director West, turn right heading 360. Qantas 995, you're in an active airspace, please contact Sydney Director West on 126.1. Amiri 477, turn right heading 020. Qantas 995 is 3 nautical miles east of Richmond, NSW, at 1,500 feet, requesting visual approach any runway at Sydney Kingsford.
Turn right heading 020, Amiri 477.
Qantas 995, due to heavy traffic, destination airport is not accepting incoming traffic at this time.
Sydney Director West, velocity 306, with you at 8,500.
Velocity 306, radar contact, say approach request.
Velocity 306 is 2 nautical miles southeast of Holsworthy, Military, at 8,100 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
China Southern 6 Lima, do not exceed 200 knots.
2500.
Amiri 477, turn right heading 110, descend and maintain 3000.
Qantas 7 is 11 nautical miles north of Mittagong at 17,100 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Qantas 80, do not exceed 200 knots.
Do not exceed 200 knots, China Southern 6 Lima.
Do not exceed 200 knots, Qantas 80.
Turn right heading 110, descend and maintain 3000, Amiri 477.
Velocity 306, continuous file, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, velocity 306.
Qantas 7, continuous file, expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Qantas 7.
Sydney Director West, Qantas 115 Heavy, with you at 2,300. Amiri 477, turn left heading 02.
Sydney Director West, Qantas 418, with you at 3000.
Qantas 418, radar contact.
2500. 2500.
Qantas 418, turn left heading 130, descend and maintain 2000, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 16 left approach. Qantas 418, I'm sorry. Air China 309 Heavy, do not exceed 180.
Thank you, Qantas 418.
Qantas 80, descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right, Qantas 80.
Stand by, Emiri 477.
Qantas 80, maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final. Qantas 418, turn left heading 090.
Turn left heading 090, Qantas 418.
2,500.
Velocity 306, turn left heading 340, descend and maintain 4000.
Turn left heading 340, descend and maintain 4000, velocity 306.
Emiri 477, expect vectors for runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Emiri 477.
Emiri 477, turn right heading 170.
Turn right heading 170, Emiri 477.
China Southern 6 Lima, descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right approach.
Descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right, China Southern 6 Lima.
Velocity 306, do not exceed 200 knots.
Do not exceed 200 knots, velocity 306.
Qantas 418, turn right heading 130, maintain 2000, maintain.
Turn right heading 130, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
Qantas 418, turn right heading 190, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left approach.
Turn right heading 190, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
Qantas 80, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 80. China Southern 6 Lima, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, China Southern 6 Lima.
Emiri 477, maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final. Emiri 477, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Emiri 477.
Air China 309 Heavy, descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right approach. Descend and maintain 4000. Maintain 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 16 right, Air China 309 Heavy. Velocity 306.
Qantas 418, request frequency change.
Qantas 4 Heavy, expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford.
Roger, Qantas 4 Heavy.
Qantas 418, contact Sydney.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 418. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Qantas 418, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left.
5 November Foxtrot India Kilo.
1,000.
Qantas 418, wind 22.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Qantas 418.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 16 left. 5 November Foxtrot India Kilo.
Qantas 11 Super, 1220 at 11, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Qantas 11 Super. Alpha November Echo 47 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved. Alpha November Echo 47 Heavy, good day.
500.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Air China 309 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right.
400.
Air China 309 Heavy, 1220 at 11, number 3, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 right, Air China 309 Heavy.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
5 November Foxtrot India Kilo, Qantas 418, when able turn right.
Wilco, Qantas 418.
Amiri 477, 1220 at 11, number 1, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, velocity 306, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right with information Alpha. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Amiri 477.
Qantas 80, when able turn right, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Qantas 80.
Qantas 11 Super, frequency change approved, good day.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, velocity 306, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right with information Alpha.
Singapore 243 Super, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 16 right.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 418, request taxi to Bay 33 at the International Terminal.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Q-Link 6297, ready for pushback with information Bravo.
Qantas 80, cross runway 7. Qantas 418, taxi to International Terminal Bay 33, hold short of 16 right 3.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 33, will hold short of 16 right 34 left, Qantas 418.
Q-Link 6297, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Tango Yankee Lima Echo Romeo, ready for pushback with information Bravo.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Q-Link 6297.
Tango Yankee Lima Echo Romeo, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Pushback approved. Tail to the south. Tango Yankee Lima Echo Romeo. Air Juneyao 370 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 25. Sydney Kingsford ground, China Eastern 2613 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Bravo.
Air Juneyao 370 Heavy, cross runway 7.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Emiri 477, request taxi to Bay 24 at the International Terminal.
China Eastern 2613 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 418.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 792 Subaru, request taxi to Bay 24 at the International Terminal.
Singapore 243 Super.
Qantas 418, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Line up and wave runway 16 right, Singapore 243 Super.
Qantas 418, cross runway 16 right.
Crossing runway 16 right, Qantas 418.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Qantas 7, inbound on the ILS runway 16 right. Qantas 7, 1220 at 11, number 1, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Emiri 477, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Singapore 243 Super, 1220 at 11, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 right, Qantas 7. Emiri 477, hold short of runway 16 right.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Singapore 243 Super. Holding short runway 16 right, Emiri 47.
Qantas 418, request frequency change.
Emiri 477, cross runway 16 right.
Cross.
Qantas 418, contact Sydney Kingsford.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, Qantas 418.
Sydney Kingsford ground, China Eastern 2613 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Bravo.
China Eastern 2613 Heavy, runway 16 right, taxi via Golf, Alpha, contact tower when ready. Qantas 792 Super, give way to aircraft ahead.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Golf, Alpha.
Qantas 418, request permission to cross runway 25.
Velocity 306, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Velocity 306, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower.
Qantas 418, cross runway 7.
Crossing runway 7, Qantas 418.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Echo Charlie Air.
Qantas 418, thank you.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Qantas 2162 heavy. Ready for pushback with information Bravo.
Echo Charlie Air 1793, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha. Echo Charlie Air 1793.
Amiri 477, request permission to cross runway 25. Qantas 2162 heavy, pushback approved, tail to the east. Amiri 477, cross runway 7.
Crossing runway 7, Amiri 477.
Pushback approved, tail to the east. Qantas 2162 heavy.
Qantas 2162 heavy, hold position.
Holding position. Qantas 2162 heavy.
Qantas 2162 heavy, I'm sorry.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Qantas 7. Request taxi to Bay 25 at the International Terminal.
Qantas 792 Super, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. Qantas 792 Super.
Thank you, good day, Qantas 418.
Qantas 418, you're welcome.